Also on the front page of the Oz tomorrow, climate to decide election, says Joyce. Barnaby Joyce has warned the coalition could lose the upcoming federal election if it overreaches on its Glasgow climate change package, as the right-wing minor parties have vowed to campaign in key regional seats against a push to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. The Deputy Prime Minister said the coalition was vulnerable on our rock-solid right and warned that confidence in the Morrison government's climate agenda must be maintained to avoid voters splintering to the minor parties. Now, of course, we saw the last federal election was basically lost by the Labor Party in Queensland because of this very issue. You had Bob Brown Greens bloody convoy going through Queensland, and Bill Shorten was basically running on an agenda of we're going to take away working class people's jobs. The coalition has to be mindful, doesn't it, that if it pursues net zero too aggressively, it may well be seen to be doing the same thing.
I think what the government's going to try and do is, and obviously Barnaby's quite concerned about this because obviously his constituents in that space, and he's obviously wanting to make sure that the Liberals do get their cheaper fuel and they do get their energy so that it is workable. And we're probably going to need it more than ever as we come out of this COVID-19 financial loss to the country. I mean, COVID-19 is going to be the big federal government issue for them to get past in this election, and maybe the environment is going to be second or third down the rung. But they've got to stand tight, the Libs, on this one, because if they don't, they're going to only hurt their inner sanctum within who support energy that is not as expensive as the alternative. And they're going to have to be very much an alternative to what Labor is going to be hitting home with. Glasgow is going to be interesting. I'm not sure if the Prime Minister's decided to go or not. I don't think he necessarily can afford really to go, because that will require him to be 14 days quarantining. But yeah, it's one that a lot of the younger voters are following closely. But I think his older support, he's going to want to keep strong and hold tight on the current situation.
Yeah, and I mean, you've always got to think about the base. We talk about the base all the time, but, you know, swinging electorates are where elections are won and lost, and working class people live in a lot of those swinging electorates. We'll go to the Herald Sun, my masthead next. The headline is Fatal Fail. 2 people suffering cardiac arrest died after 000 calls went unanswered for 5 minutes in each case, whistleblowers have revealed. In other cases, in the last few days, an emergency call was ignored for an unheard of 33 minutes, while an elderly patient with chest pains could not get a 000 answer for 14 minutes, paramedics say. Nick, how on earth does this kind of thing happen? Now, the story goes on to say that the Premier, the government on Friday, is going to launch a wholesale review of its operations that's going to be overseen by former Victoria Police Chief Graham Ashton. I mean, how much of a review do you need? Surely they need more staff.
A wholesale review, Caleb, but a wholesale kick up the pants is what's required here. I mean, this is absolutely outrageous. I've recently just been in an incident here in Western Australia where I have called 000 for an incident, a car incident where someone was actually having a heart attack. The ambulance arrived literally in 3 minutes. Now, 5 minutes waiting on a call, that's just not, that is just incompetence at the highest level, and just should not happen in a modern world like we have today, with its communications and also with its response times. It's outrageous, and it shouldn't just be a review, it's a major kick in the pants, this one.